Stephen Hawking was famously known as an atheist, arguing that the Creator played no role in our understanding of the universe. Because there is a law of gravity, he reasoned. The universe can and will create itself from nothing. However, this argument leads to the question: if humanity hypothesizes the existence of physical laws, then we are making assumptions about the existence of the universe. Thus, the universe cannot create itself from nothing. It has always existed and continues to exist. Furthermore, the physical laws not only need to exist, but also need to be specifically and precisely defined for the universe to be a place where life can exist. A full quote from the renowned Cambridge physicist John Polkinghorne explains: "There are 4 fundamental interactions in nature, and the entire nature of the universe is governed by the constant values of these 4 fundamental forces. The fine structure constant characterizes the strength of the electromagnetic force. Newton's gravitational constant, G, characterizes the strength of gravity, and 2 constants characterize the strength of atomic forces, Gs for the strong force that holds atomic particles together, and Gh for the weak force, which causes some atomic particles to decay and also governs the interaction of neutrinos. The values of all these constants must be very precise for the universe to create life. If the weak nuclear force GW were just a little weaker, the early universe would have converted all hydrogen atoms into helium atoms before it cooled down below the temperature at which nuclear reactions stopped. This would mean that Earth would not only lack water, which is essential for life, but it would only have stars burning helium, which don't last long enough to support life on any of their planets. But if GW were slightly stronger, supernova explosions would be inhibited." Even atheist physicists acknowledge the unavoidable implications of this. Fred Hoyle, a pioneer in this field, upon realizing how finely tuned the strength of the strong nuclear forces needed to be to allow the creation of carbon atoms inside stars, exclaimed, despite being an atheist, that the universe is a put-up job. He didn't believe that such precise fine-tuning could be just a lucky accident. And this is only the tip of the iceberg in terms of the finely tuned nature of the universe. More and more evidence shows that biological evolution is tightly constrained, with complex structures like the eye evolving independently multiple times. Life structures seem to be tightly connected to nature, predestined to emerge under the right energy conditions, rather than merely relying on random adaptive mutations. Nature indeed appears to be a system of carefully arranged order. The only other explanation for this perfection is that our universe is just one among countless others in a vast multiverse, a universe that just happens to be capable of supporting life. However, this multiverse hypothesis has no solid basis. Professor John Polkinghorne described it as a wild metaphysical speculation of ontological physics. Metaphysics is a branch of philosophy that argues about what lies behind meta, the physical world we see, physics. Ontology is philosophy that debates the nature and origin of things. Using the multiverse hypothesis to explain what we don't know is nothing more than an unscientific way to evade the reasonable existence of a creator. Indeed, in his later years, Stephen Hawking attempted to prove that a multiverse exists, and his final scientific paper pointed to how we might find remnants of the multiverse in our universe. While this sounds promising, the scientific community quickly pointed out the flaws, as all the promises revolved around the expanding universe argument. But are the arguments from science and nature for the existence of a creator God truly reasonable? Some say that finding God's role in our understanding of the universe is an endorsement of the God of the gaps view, filling current gaps in our knowledge with supernatural, unscientific explanations. And if you ever think that something must be the work of God to explain a phenomenon, then you are agreeing to a notion of natural phenomena that are accidental but intentional, which is unscientific. But that is not what we are discussing here. We are talking about whether a creator truly exists based on current knowledge of the universe. Philosophers, at least since the time of Plato and Aristotle, have argued that there is a creator, and that this creator is necessary and is actively at work around us. The Bible agrees with this. The book of Romans says, "For what can be known about God is plain to them, because God has shown it to them. For his invisible attributes, namely, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived, ever since the creation of the world in the things that have been made. So they are without excuse." Romans 1:19-20. We always have a way of knowing that a creator exists. First, because the universe is finely tuned for life. This indicates that the universe must have been designed for the flourishing of life. The claim that the universe just happened naturally is utterly unreasonable. The second reason we know a creator must exist is because, logically, the universe cannot and does not consist solely of material substance. Consider the laws of logic and numbers. They are not material. The law of gravity, the laws of thermodynamics, the laws of dynamics, they are not material. And the attributes of particles, like electrons, and fields, like the magnetic field, they are immaterial entities that assign properties and actions to the material world. They are what Plato, Aristotle, and philosophers call forms, the immaterial characteristics of reality that underpin the machine, material world, and determine its structure and nature. Plato, with a Christian foundation, noted that these forms of the universe are akin to immaterial ideas and share a common essence. Humans argue that they are divine ideas of a creator who determines the natural order, and observe that the human mind can grasp these ideas precisely because they, too, are ideas, and humans have a natural inclination to follow divine essence. This logical principle of the universe, which underlies human reasoning and allows us to understand the inner workings of the universe, was called logos by Stoic philosophers like Plato and Aristotle, an idea mentioned in the Gospel of John and identified as Christ, the Word. Tease because the universe is not just material, but also has an immaterial, rational, metaphysical aspect that human reason, through its thoughts, can understand even a small part of the ideas in the reason of the universe, a reason that even Stephen Hawking famously admitted to. Or do we truly believe that humans have the capacity to understand the physical and mathematical laws, but cannot understand the universe, simply following those natural phenomena, even when the universe created beings capable of understanding them? That would be quite an impressive achievement for a mindless machine. This leads to the third reason why we know there must be a creator, because of the existence of consciousness, reason, free will, and morality. All of these require the universe to contain something beyond mere material substance. Morality especially requires the universe to contain ideas like the good person and the good society, which rational agents can grasp with their understanding and aim for in their actions. Materialism does not provide us with morality. For these reasons, the existence of God the Creator has been considered certain by philosophers throughout history, and not just by Christian philosophers, but also by those who did not know God, like Plato and Aristotle, and by theists who believed in a God but did not believe in the Bible, like Voltaire and Thomas Paine. All argued for the necessity of a creator. This is a truth of nature and entirely logical, no less reasonable than any scientifically verified claim. In modern times, even Christians often view the existence of a creator as a belief that cannot be rationally proven. But this is not what people believed throughout history, and it is not what the Bible says. Christian faith indeed may require a step of faith to accept what Jesus says about himself, though that too can be known through historical inquiry. But it is not simply an irrational belief in God. It is an argument from natural theology that knowledge of God can be known through natural reason. This is an argument long made by Western philosophy before, during, and after Christianity. And no matter how Stephen Hawking might argue, we have no reason to doubt the existence of the Creator. Dr. Will Jones is a journalist in Birmingham, holds a master's degree in mathematics, a PhD in political philosophy, and a bachelor's degree in Bible and theology.